finally rounding out the cruel Britannia set with probably the best movie in this set, Craze, which somehow managed to be the last movie that I got to, thankfully, because it left on a high note. We have Jack Palance in this film, who plays the main character of Neil, a man who owns an antique shop, who has a struggling business. He's trying to make ends meet, and he has some interesting hobbies. One involves performing various rituals to Shuku, a god that he worships in the basement of his shop. And at the start, we kind of see them doing a ritual towards this god. He has a group of people who are all kind of worshipping this god, and then as they leave and he's tidying up, a woman comes in. There's a little bit of a tete-a-tete as they start to argue about who owns this statue of this god, and in an argument that goes a little bit too far, Neil ends up killing the woman by mistake by thrusting her throat onto Chuku's pitchfork. Get out! And from then on, Neil starts to see some similarities between that woman's death and a whole lot of money falling into his possession. And he starts to realise that maybe this just isn't coincidence. Maybe if he sacrifices more people to Chuku, he will get more money. And he does. And it's an interesting one of watching Jack Palance as Neil, this character who slowly gets greedier and more bloodthirsty and more conniving and just devious throughout the film, willing to do things that he really shouldn't be doing, all for the money and the prestige that is bringing him. But we also have a kind of side story of police officers who are starting to investigate these seemingly strange disappearances and start to put two and two together and realise that maybe Neil is being involved in this one. And it's all driven by this wonderful performance by Jack Palance, who is a man that's at the end of his rope, but suddenly manages to get a grip and realises that there's more coming his way. And enough is never enough for this character. There's a nice idea of a fatherly figure that he is to someone that works with him, and how he tries to drag that person into his world who doesn't really want to go there, who has a more stronger moral fibre, and kind of pushes back a little bit against Chuku and all the gold and wealth that's coming their way, because, well, they don't really need all of it. They've got to a certain level, but they keep pushing for more.
O sacred Chuku, here is the sacrifice I promised you. This body and this soul now belongs to you.
The procedural detective part of the story was something that I found to be really kind of interesting. It offered up something new as we watch this detective try to get evidence. He has that gut feeling. He knows that Neil is the man that he's after. He just needs to try and get some evidence to really nail this down and to get Neil before he can commit more murders. There are some nice asides in this one. There is a side character of Diana Dors who turns up as a fling for Neil, or someone he's going to use to facilitate a murder in a really fun way that has these kind of nice setups. As with most of the movies in this set, it kind of loses its steam a little bit in the middle of the movie, but not as much as the other movies. And it, to be honest, when you've got Jack Palance as the main character, it really gives you a focal point to latch on to, and some nice, familiar and supporting actors that turn up that really add a little bit more to this one, and a great finale, as always.
I'm a realist. Sure, it's a horrible way for Aunt Louise to die, but all things considered, she had a good life and a long one.
Craze was far my favourite from this set, one that I really enjoyed, one that I would go back to again, simply because of Palance and his performance and some of the kind of interesting kills that he has throughout it. I would love to know what you thought of Craze. In fact, I want to know what you thought of the Cruel Britannia box set as a whole. Let me know in the comment box below your thoughts, and we can have a little chit chat about that. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.